Joined by the Big South champion UNC Asheville Bulldogs, head coach Mike Morrell, Drew Pember, and Tejon Jones. Coach Morrell?
Yeah, I wish I would have taken a minute before I walked up here to at least try to get some thoughts together. I don't really remember much about the last 3 or 4 minutes. Last thing I really remember was it was 7:38 on the clock, and it was a media timeout. I think we were down 12. Yeah, that's definitely not you, and that's not you. So, but it's okay today. But we had been in that situation before, and in a couple of instances, actually, we had first game of the season. We were down 10, I believe, with just over a couple minutes left at UCF, and found a way to win. And very similar situation at Gardner-Webb. I think people are beginning to think we plan to do that. We do not. It's not coached. We don't go into the game talking about that. But just after the 5 years, since I got here, 4.5 years, it's to see that today, and just really special. And this guy to my left has bailed me out more times than I could ever imagine. And I told you guys, I think it was yesterday, I don't know if it was or not, but the most special moment, I didn't get to see you cut the net down today. But the most special moment for me since I've been here is watching him cut a piece of that net for the regular season championship. And he's had more to do with the flipping of this program than I have. And just really grateful to Tay. And so I digress a little bit.
That's all right.
It's just a really, I'm not a man with big words. It's just a really cool day, man. Really cool day. So let's get me off the mic right now.
Thanks, Mike. We'll start with Brian.
Tay, you just got your flowers from Mike. Give some to him.
Coach Morrell, he's believed in me since he came here. When my first coach left, he talked me in stand, and even my first year when I shot like 28% from three, he said you're the best shooter in this league. So he's always poured confidence in me since he's got here. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Drew, I'm sure y'all would have been happy with anybody getting hot there down the stretch, but how special was it for it to be Tejon kind of leading the charge?
I mean, no one's more deserving of that moment than Tay. I mean, he was here when, they won 4 games. He helped me come here. He's been clutch all year, and I know a lot of the times everyone thinks that I'm going to get the ball, and I want Tay to get the ball. He's been phenomenal. It's just a testament to his hard work and what he's been doing all year for us. And I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that stepped up in one of the biggest moments of probably his career.
Right here.
Tejon, you helped lead a 23-7 run to take the lead with 1 minute remaining. What was going through your head during that run?
There was a lot of things going through my head, but I don't even know what I could tell you specifically. All I said was, to myself, I was like, I just can't lose this. But, I mean, the rim opened up for me once I hit a couple shots, and it just went from there. But I can't really tell you too much about it, though.
Go here.
Coach, you had one of the youngest teams in a while early in your tenure, and this is one of the older teams in the country.
Yeah.
Kind of in those huddles down the stretch, how different, what feels different between a team like that and a team like this?
Oh, you don't got enough time in the day. One thing I got from Coach Smart, he talked to me about this in the off season, and something we started doing this year is we have a player that kind of sits in the head coaching chair there for the first, 30 seconds or so. I think that helps us when I get in the huddle, man. I'm very fortunate again just to have guys who, sometimes I got to talk to myself and just, hey man, you got to trust these guys, and doesn't mean it's always going to come out the way that you want it to come out, but comparing the two, I mean, I think Brian Hand told me when he was the SID here in 2018, we were the youngest team in the country in the last 9 years of Division I basketball. And then we just had guys who stuck through it. And I was just on the phone, or FaceTime. Doc put me on FaceTime with L.J. Thorpe, Jeremy Peck, Stephen Adoka, and just saw Cody Jude out on the court. And and Tay knows this. We don't get here without those guys, And I'll say this: last year it was L.J. sitting in this exact chair. That was probably the lowest moment, for us, and getting knocked out on a buzzer beater. And it's funny because, I'm not really a quote machine, but after Virginia got beat by UMBC, Tony Bennett talked about the adversity and where it'll take you, if you'll just kind of embrace it. And I really think since that moment, since we went to the CBI, these guys really understood that we want to do something more than just individual success. He's broken he's rewrit the record book at UNC Asheville. But I can assure you that nothing feels as good as what he's feeling right now. And so it's a different feeling, man, in those moments.
Good, Mark.
Drew, you guys had to win 2 games to get here, but Campbell had to win 3. And late in the game, you guys really seemed to wear them down a bit. Do you think any extra mileage was weighing on them at all? I know they gave you everything they had, but was that a factor, do you think?
I don't know. I can't answer for them. I give credit to them. I mean, they're a phenomenal defensive team. I think that Jay Powell's the best defender in the league. He's been, he's sat down a lot, and I give complete credit to Campbell. And playing 4 games in 3-4 days is not easy. Yeah, I can't answer that. But their coach said they weren't going to be scared, and they definitely weren't. They came out and they executed their plan, as well as they could, and it was a fight. It was not, it was a war, and that's, we were lucky to come out on top.
Jack.
Tejon, you're going dancing. What does that mean for the community of Asheville and for your school?
Man, it means a lot. It's been something that we've been working for a long time, but the feeling I'm feeling right now is just, I don't know how to put it into words, but I know it's great for the community of Asheville and the city and the school, but I think this is great.
You kept saying there at the end you're bringing a parade to your city. Is that something you're excited to get going?
No,
I didn't hear about this parade.
From the song.
They deserve it.
It's just something.
Oh, it's a song?
Yeah, it's something from a song that we listen
see, guys, that's why we don't know.
Yeah, it would be nice if we did do one. But.
Tell you what's a parade now, I guess.
Go here.
Tejon, as the lone member still remaining from that 4-2017, what made you believe that this moment was possible, year by year by year?
It's every year, we got better as a team. We recruited a lot of different players. We ended up getting Drew, and especially this year, we got Nick and CB that really helped bring some more experience for our team. And every year is just a long journey since the 4-win team. But that's really all I got to say.
Okay. Go here.
Drew, do you think you guys can make some noise in the NCAA tournament?
I think so. We got to just stay disciplined and just keep doing the things that we've been doing since June and July. Just stay aggressive, just do what we do. That's what Coach is going to talk to us about here, the next upcoming week and until the game. And we won't change anything that we do. We'll just, like I said, just stick to the plan.
Coach, you were with VCU in 2011, and that year you guys were the city right story. So how would that experience help you guys potentially make a run this year?
The experience I had at VCU is everything to me, and that's where I learned that I really wanted to be a head coach. I've told you guys this: I'm a product of who I worked for and with, and it's, I wasn't there with the Final Four run, Jake, but I was there where we went to the NCAA tournament 4 straight years, and we won when we were the lower seed. Drew said it. Drew's exactly right. Nothing changes, man. When you get to the NCAA tournament, this will be my 10th time, obviously first as a head coach. There's so much other stuff going on. You just got to try to narrow the focus. We'll worry about that when the time comes, but I'll definitely lean on those experiences You know, but it's a different it's a different time. It's different players. And so, but no, I'll definitely lean on it. But I lean on everything I learned there, man. You know, I worked for the best, and so worked with the best. So probably be leaning on them too.
Your coach has said that this moment feels better for you than rewriting the record books. First, is that true?
Oh yeah, very true. I mean, I've never really been just like the individual guy. You know, a ring has been something I've been wanting to get since middle school. So finally getting one and putting the team. I wouldn't be here and break records without my team. So like they play a big part of like how me breaking these records. But I like to put the team first, and then if our team's doing well, I mean, then my success is just as good as the team's.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't mean to put words in his mouth. It's just, again, I love all these guys, man. I mean, they're just, they've been unbelievable. But and the cool thing for me with this team is they allow me to acknowledge Tay, and he deserves that. And so we were the only two people that were here that year. And I do think it's worth acknowledging as many times as anyone will listen. And I've said this, I don't know that I've ever said this in front of him. He has chosen UNC Asheville more than any player, coach ever. He chose to come here. He chose to stay here. He chose to come back here. And that's special in the day and the age that we are in. And I don't know who's writing the book of UNC Asheville this year, but it's a hell of a story, because what just happened, and for it to be really on his back is just really, really special.
Mark?
Coach, you talked about keeping the focus narrow and getting back to business, but how long do the guys have to enjoy this before it's
As long as they want. As long as they want. One good thing is we're on spring break, right?
Yeah.
We're going to give them a day off. No. This is hard, man. And it's funny. Betsy Blose, who's our old women's coach here, she sent me a quote this morning, and it's the famous Teddy Roosevelt quote, about being in the arena and the critics and everything. And I had just listened to the actual original quote of that the other day, and nobody knows how hard it is until you actually step foot in the arena. And we've been in that arena when we've gotten our butts kicked, a lot of times. So it's worth celebrating, and it's worth relishing for a long time. They're going to hang 2 banners in Campbell Arena, and that's hard to do. But we got there because we failed. We got there because we came up short so many times, and none more so than on that same, on the other end last year versus Charleston Southern in the first round. These guys were devastated. But I'll give our administration and Janet Cohn just a ton of credit. They allowed us to go to the CBI, and I'm telling you, that was, to me, the single biggest change that I saw in these guys going into the offseason. They felt what it was like to win and move on in March, and you can't duplicate it until you actually get in that arena and feel it. So we're going to enjoy this for a while. And deservedly so. But we're also going to go in the NCAA tournament when the time comes, and we'll talk about it when it comes, and we're going to do our best, because that's all we got, man, just our best. And so our best is good enough.
Okay. Mike, similarly to I asked Tejon, I mean, you were the head coach of that 4-win team. Did you ever have self-doubt that you had to overcome that this was possible?
Sure. I have self-doubt now. It's every day. Just try to be aware of it. It's easier when you have better players. But, I've said this, I think, 3 days in a row now. Sometimes I have to talk to myself about trusting them, making for sure, getting out of the way in some instances. But, yeah, you don't leave the University of Texas to go be a head coach and win 4 games. That ain't the plan. But it's also why we're here, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Those are my feelings. Sure, I did. But I was very fortunate that I had people, you know, like our athletic director and the people around me that just believed in me, maybe more so than I really deserved at the time, and stuck with me and supported me. And you don't get here on your own, man. You know, coaches get way too much credit, in my opinion. Now, you could argue they get too much blame too, but you don't get here alone, man. It's not just coaches and players. It's, you know, like Tim White, our athletic trainer. Like he spends so much time with these guys and I mean, he literally spends how many I
mean, I get it every day.
So like, you don't get here alone, man. I mean, Drew's got a big body. It's a lot of miles. So, but yeah, Chris, you do. I mean, you saw it. You know, you saw it, and we also had some setbacks along the way, and you know, but it makes moments like these more special.
Brian.
Mike, I talked to you after that 4-1 year, and you talked about learning from that year and learning about what needed to happen next and learning how to go forward. What have you learned from that time to now?
Again, not enough time in a day. I learned that I need, just personally need to be healthy, you know, in order to be my best for our team and our program. You know, I learned that, like, I'm going to fail a lot, you know, and these guys are going to fail a lot. But our ability to respond is everything. But I've just had really, really good support, Brian. And I think it was really after my second year, just tried to understand that, you know, I'm going to be very imperfect, and so are our players. But the best chance that we have to be our best when our best is needed is just to, you know, respond and do our best. And so, honestly, Brian, I learned that we need better players too, you know. But again, I've said this, Coach Beatonbaugh, Nick McDevitt, you know, the guys who came before them, there's players and players and players. Like, I didn't build this program. This program was built well, long before any three of us got here. And Tejon's redshirt freshman year was a Big South championship team because great coaches came before me. We just needed to get it back where it rightfully deserved to be. And that was a hell of a challenge. But we needed to get better with it too, so I learned that as well. I learned a lot, man. But it is, it's quite a day.
Last question, Jack.
Tejon, just talking about everything you've gone through since you've been here, talking about last year especially, and going into this as the 1 seed. Obviously, throughout the day, there was some upset alerts that were tweeted out. How good does it feel to silence the doubters, knowing you're moving on?
It feels great to silence them. You know, my team, we didn't have any doubts that we couldn't win it, but we just stayed together and connected and got the job done.
I would like to say this, though, you know, getting up here and obviously, you know, a ton of credit needs to go to Campbell and Kevin and what they did over, like, in 2015. I don't know, you guys probably know, I can't remember the last time a team went 4 days and, you know, won 3 games, got to the championship. We did it at VCU in 2015. I think we were the 5 seed, and they were unbelievable today, and would be really remiss if we didn't acknowledge that, because our league deserved that. You know, this venue deserved that. The fans who came deserved that, and they got an awesome, awesome game. But a lot of credit goes to them. They were unbelievable this week.
Thank you, Mike. Gentlemen, congratulations.